Hello, thank you everyone for joining us today on the Forceful live stream. My name is James Tudor-Williams from Forceful Chandlery, and talking with me today we have Dan Taylor from Seago Yachting. How you doing, Dan?
Hello. Good afternoon. How are you? You all right?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. Getting ready for Easter?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
No, not a problem. Today, Dan and myself are going to talk about Seago's life jackets range. We're going to break down their features, give a bit of an overview about how you might decide between each model or each style in that model, and what it comes to when you're trying to buy a life jacket for yourself or people that are going to be on your boat. Dan, I just want to say again, thank you for taking the time to join me today. You're here to talk about the Seago life jacket range, but before we get started, can you give us a bit of a background on Seago, who they are and what they do?
Sure. So again, yeah, thanks so much for having me, James. It's a pleasure to be on here to be able to discuss our fantastic product range with you. So Seago has been a family-owned and run company for about the last 40 years. Our sort of mantra is, without risk, there is no adventure, but the best equipment minimizes risk while expanding horizons. We've been manufacturing high-quality safety equipment for the past 40 years. All of the equipment is meticulously designed and crafted to push the boundaries of sea safety. My own background is that I've worked as a professional yacht skipper for about the last 10 years and a marine engineer as well. So before I had the opportunity to come and work for Seago, so I've got a good understanding of all the sort of practicalities and uses of all of our safety gear and range.
Oh, nice. And yes, well, I think everyone will be well aware that the other main bits that you do beyond life jackets, obviously the life rafts, the dinghy range you've got, and
Sure.
just general safety equipment here, there, and everywhere, covering most aspects of being on a boat.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a nice broad range. We don't try and do everything. I think what we offer, we do really, really well, and we've just tried to keep it in that sphere alone.
Yeah.
Very, very proud of the range and to be able to offer it to our customers.
No, brilliant. So for those of you that are joining in to watch live, please feel free to ask us any questions in our live chat about the Seago life jacket range, life jackets in general, anything we can help you with there. Or if there's another Seago product, feel free to ask us about that. We'll try and answer them. If we don't answer it today live in the stream, we'll get back to you later. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube or Facebook at a later date, then just leave us a question in the comments and either Seago or Forceful will get back to you there as well. So Dan, let's get going, and we might as well start simply at the beginning. How many life jacket models or styles does Seago actually do then?
Okay, so that's great. So Seago offer 4 adult ranges and 1 specifically designed for children. So to start with, we have our Seaguard range, which is a very versatile entry-level life jacket and a really just good, nice all-rounder. Next up is the Classic 190 range. It's our longest selling life jacket. We've been making it throughout the last 25 years. And that's a really nice firm favorite with our customers. After the classics, we've got a more modernized range, our active range, which have been designed to combine maximum comfort and really good performance. And finally, in our adult range, we do the 3D Dynamic, which has a range of features that ensures really elite performance and safety at the highest level with, high-end offshore sailing. In addition to our adult range, we also offer the Waveguard Junior, where we've used all of our meticulous design principles to craft a kid's life jacket that really, encapsulates the entire range in one. And yeah, that's it really. All of our life jackets come with a 5-year warranty, and we strongly recommend yearly service after initial 2 years of ownership.
No, that makes sense. I think that's something that we always tell people, you should be fine for the first 18 months, 2 seasons of owning it. But after that, it's always good to just check your state of your cylinder, check the dates, just make 100%. Sure.
100%. Yes.
Right. So it makes sense to start at the beginning. So why don't we go through the Seago range and start with the Seaguard? What models do these life jackets come at, and who have they been designed or made for in mind of purchase?
Brilliant. So thank you, James. Yeah. So the versatile Seaguard 165 is an updated design of an incredibly popular life jacket model that we've been making for over a decade. It's got a really nice simple contoured neck design just to make it really comfortable. It's very lightweight, and it's a very preferred entry-level model, so it's ideal for someone who's just come to boating, yeah, or would like to just own a life jacket for occasional use and days out in the water. It's really good across the board as well for people that, you know, like to have a couple of spare life jackets on their boat. So they might have something, you know, a bit more comfortable themselves. But I'll just pick one up, so I've got one here to hand as well. But yeah, really nice, really light, really nice and easy to pack as well. Got some really lovely design features that I'll talk in a bit more detail later, but we've got a semi-integrated S-lung cylinder safe. It's a really abrasion resistant cover, lightweight D-ring, and it comes in 3 different colorways. So red, gray, black and navy. And we also offer a white clean one, which is designed purely for commercial use. It's available in automatic, manual and auto harness as well, but it makes it, they're just a really good all-rounder, you know, really nice solid bit of kit and good for all, really.
Yeah, I think, you know, from my time in the shops, it was often bought by someone who had been invited out and maybe would go 2 or 3 times a year. Their friend had a boat and they just wanted their own, or as you said, more often than not, someone that had a boat and they wanted to have 2 or 4 sort of spare, you know, buy them in a couple of pairs. You know, there's always a bit of an offer to buy 2. You'd have a couple on board just for if you had extra people out of nowhere. It's always a good thing.
100%. They're a bestseller. They're widely available. And again, if you're just getting into it, it's the perfect one. Just to, you know, a lot of people, when they come to boating, they're not really sure what they want. So it's one of those nice things where it's not going to break the bank. It's a good all-rounder. And it's just, you know, very nice and available. So yeah, really nice one.
Absolutely. And I think the white clean version has been very popular this year, particularly with fishermen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, stops your life jacket from getting all fishy.
Right, brilliant. Well, let's move on then. So the next step up from the Seaguard is the Classic 190 range. What's the sort of main differences between these and the Seaguards?
Okay, so for a start, you know, the Seaguard is a 165 Newton. This is a 190 Newton. The Classic we've actually been making for over 25 years. It's got a really nice, you know, traditional style and features. It's withstood the test of time, not only in design, but reliability as well. Yeah. You know, it's got nice spec, nice performance. It's got a fixed lung design on this one, so slightly different to the 165, but it makes it incredibly easy to repack. It's unbelievably easy to repack after inflation. And the twin back straps give it a lot more, you know, sort of comfort. And it's sort of more designed for, you know, wearing for a bit of a longer period, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'd say it's very appropriate for sort of coastal sailing. As I said, can be worn over longer periods. And it's got a really nice loose design, which is much better for people who are going to be wearing more robust sailing gear as well. Obviously, you can get back down to be, you know, wearing around a t-shirt just as well. I'll offer one up again because I've got it here to hand. So yeah, really nice size, very comfortable to wear. Again, not too onerous at all. These twin back straps make it nice and solid as well for when you do want to wear a bit more gear over the top. You can tighten it all up accordingly. So yeah, very, very popular. And again, it's been going for, you know, 25 years, and our customers know they can use, repack, and most importantly, feel confident wearing it going to sea.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's got that traditional sort of waistcoat design that would sit over a higher collar of like a sailing jacket, a bit nicer.
Yeah. I think they look really, really nice. I think it's a timeless style, and I think it's almost come back full circle now. And I see people out wearing them. I go, it looks great. It looks really good on the water. Really nice style and design.
And they also come in automatic, auto harness, and manual as well.
Correct. Yeah. So all available in auto harness, manual harness.
Oh, okay.
And in just that nice red navy colorway. Yeah. So again, we've been making them like that for 25 years, and we've got a really good thing going, so we wouldn't change it for anyone. So that's it.
I also just want to add, as you mentioned it there, your YouTube channel has all of the videos necessary for anyone who needs to repack a life jacket after they've inflated it. You can go to the Seago YouTube channel. You can also head to the Seago brand page on the Force 4 website and any of the life jackets on our Force 4 website. And we've put the Seago's repacking videos on those products. So if you have inflated your life jacket for any reason, there's plenty of resources to go and find out how easy it is to do. Because it is, the trickiest bit's the fold. Once you've got the fold down, there's not much else to it, is there?
100%. I think one thing that is mentioned around our life jacket range as well, I was going to mention it later, but you've given me the perfect opportunity now, is that, you know, across the board, it's really, really important to know how to rearm your life jacket. That's got to be, you know, sacrosanct when you come to use it. It's really important to know how to rearm and repack it. Depending on the range that you go for, I think our life jackets have been, you know, it's been noted by some of our biggest customers are really easy to repack in comparison to, you know, some other companies that offer them. It's really nice to be able to repack something for it to be solid, as opposed to, you know, halfway through the day, if you move around, you know, a little bit of the life jacket starts opening up, it can get a bit tiresome after a while. So yeah, you know, we're really proud of our range, and that's one of our really, really good points.
Brilliant, nice. Well then, so let's take up to the next step. You mentioned the Seago Active range is sort of a more modern, updated style and design. Do you want to talk us through those features and some of their design aspects?
Brilliant, absolutely. So again, thank you so much. So yeah, so the new range of active life jackets from Seago have been designed to command maximum comfort with outstanding performance. You know, you won't know you're wearing it until it's needed, which is always lovely when you're wearing a life jacket. It's high volume buoyancy together with, you know, the unique safety features make this life jacket first choice for those with safety and convenience in mind. The introduction of Cylinder Safe and the S-Design Lung demonstrate Seago's ongoing investment in safety innovation. The 3D contour design reduces the surface area in contact with your body, offering unparalleled freedom of movement for both men and women. You know, I think these are fantastic life jackets for all watercraft users. The 3 different models sort of cater to everyone's needs. I've got a 190 right next to me here. These are really, really popular with powerboaters, and the reason why is because they've got this brilliant plastic buckle as well. So just incredibly easy to pop on and off, really comfortable, super lightweight, and this really nice modern design, which just means that, you know, sometimes you can feel a bit cooped up when you've got them on, and especially with the active range, they've been designed just to offer, you know, sort of maximum flexibility when you're moving around on deck and stuff like that, which is really important. I think, you know, the freedom of movement aspects.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would just say there that one thing I always used to say to customers is try on everything, because the one that's comfortable is the one that you're going to wear, and the one that you're wearing is the one that will do the job that you need it to do. If you've got this one with all the bells and whistles and you're not wearing it, what good is it in the locker or on the floor or in a bag? You want the life jacket that you are happy to wear. I think the Active range has done a real good job in making a comfortable life jacket, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And it's nice because we don't only offer the 190, we offer a 300 as well. So a 300 Newton version. That's great for sailors who may be wearing more heavy duty gear all the time. You know, tools, steel boots. You don't know what people like to sail in, but it offers that really good extra level of buoyancy. And then the Pro has a nice different set of safety features, like a solus LED light and a spray hood. So it just gives it that really nice all-round performance. But chatting about the Actives also gives me a really good opportunity to sort of delve into some of our new key design features, if that makes sense. So Cylinder Safe, I've mentioned it before, but at Seago, we set out to address one shocking fact around life jacket cylinders. You know, and CO2 cylinders can loosen over time. You know, less than 100% secure cylinders can mean your life jacket may not inflate when you need it most, and that puts your life in danger. You know, for us, that was a real problem that we couldn't leave unaddressed. So, you know, fitted as standard in all of our life jackets and our entire range is Cylinder Safe, which greatly reduces cylinder loosening. So, you know, it's important. And I personally have been out on the water, and I have done one for, you know, donned a life jacket, tried to inflate it manually for a test, and it hasn't gone off. And that was because of exactly that reason. You know, it does happen. It's not something you just read about. You know, cylinder loosening, if you are using a life jacket regularly out on the water, you know, bumping around, moving around, it will start to loosen off over time. So, you know, it does happen.
Just like you say, the natural movement of someone, if you're, you know, walking and moving about, that twisting, it will just, you wouldn't even notice it or feel it yourself. But if you're rubbing it, your life jacket's rubbing up and down against your body, there is not the highest chance, but some chance that you can do it lightly, and then it's either the activation pin's not going to hit it and it won't get pierced, or it might get pierced and the air wouldn't go necessarily where it's meant to go.
100%. Yeah. You know, it is a real problem. And, you know, we've thought of it, we've seen, you know, a problem, and we've tried to build in yet another redundancy into our gear in order for us, you know, to just give that extra level of safety.
Yeah, right.
So the next sort of big design feature on all of our life jackets, which you'll see on the screen now, is the S-Design lung. The S-Design lung has been designed to increase safety in the water to prolong survival. Yeah, so a standard lung shape on a life jacket allows water to flow along the center channel towards the face, adding the risk of secondary drowning. And again, this to us seemed a bit counterintuitive, especially because when you're in the water, adrenaline's pumping through you, you'll start to breathe more quickly, and it adds to that risk of a bit of secondary drowning. So, you know, we've invented this S-Design lung to guide the wash away from the wearer's mouth.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, secondary drowning's like the biggest issue more than most things, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. Again, all these things are real problems. You know, I feel that, you know, within our range, we haven't just tried to, you know, give something a nice look. All of the sort of ergonomic design, you know, there's a reason to it. And the reason is, you know, to keep people more safe. So
you mentioned the Pro there. The Pro model comes with a light fitted and spray hood as standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, and I'm sure some people will be aware, that you also do a spray hood and light separately that you can retrofit to any of the active range should you want to. Not ready to take the step into a Pro life jacket, or you don't want to, you can at a later date sort of future-proof yourself to further things.
Absolutely, yeah. So we do a massive range of spares with our entire range. So as you say, James, if you feel that you want to take that next extra step without buying a new one, you can just go and get the hood as and when. Nice. Gives it a nice little upgrade. Brilliant. Yeah. So just finishing off with the actives quickly then. So the actives have 3 models: a 190, a 300, and a Pro. And these are available in the navy, red, and sky blue colorways. And again, really big favorite.
Yeah, no, they've been very popular since they came in. Definitely. So we've climbed to the top of the tree, the top of the range of the Seago Life Jacket, the 3D dynamic. So what sets this one apart from the others, basically?
Brilliant. So yeah, we're at the top of the tree now. The 3D dynamic is our flagship life jacket. Yeah, so it ensures elite performance and safety together with maximum comfort. It incorporates innovative design and technology advances, including the rapid buckle, which I'll talk about shortly, and the aforementioned cylinder safe and S-Design lung, together with an LED multi-flashlight, spray hood, and pocket for your knife. So it means that sailing professionals and enthusiasts alike can have everything they need close to hand. The rapid buckle is 5 times faster to fit, so it's perfect for quick donning during a watch change or emergency situations. So I've got one here. They're a really, really nice sort of ergonomically designed, robust fit. Really solid. Lovely pocket for your knife. The rapid buckle's a great idea because the amount of time sometimes when you get a call, if you're sailing on a crude boat for an all hands and you're down on your off watch, then all of a sudden get your gear on, get it on nice and quickly. You know, it's one of those classic moments of my time at sea. So really, really nice features. It's designed, the 3D is designed for all watercraft. However, I think it lends itself perfectly for offshore sailing. Yeah, it's incredibly comfortable and designed to be used for hours or days at a time. And as I said, it's our flagship life jacket, and we're really proud to be able to offer it to our customers. No,
but brilliant. I think it's great. And that comes in the 190 and the 300 as well?
Spot on. Yeah, so available in 190 and 300 unit models with very similar colorways to the black and carbon or the carbon and black.
Nice. Brilliant. Yeah, no, they've been, again, it's that it's a life jacket that I think, as you mentioned, if you're offshore sailing, like offshore racing or something in particular, and you're on the water for 3 or 4 days at a time or longer, you know, you're living in that thing.
Yeah.
Along with all your foulies and stuff, nothing feels comfortable, but having that on it's not adding any discomfort or anything.
No, 100%. Again, there's with the 3D, there's a lot's been thought about, you know, the freedom of movement thing as well. You know, it's designed to be used just so, you know, you don't really feel like it's on, it's there. and having that extra pocket for, you know, a really important bit of safety kit like a knife or a multi-tool just in that pocket just means that, you know, it's there, isn't it? You're not having to scurry around looking for stuff. You've got it all to hand when you need it most. So yeah, really, really nice bit of kit.
No, brilliant, perfect. So then, like finally in your Seago range, where you do the children's life jacket, which you say incorporates basically all of the features from all the adults, because children are just as important. But no. So talk us through the Seago Waveguard.
Yeah, brilliant. So the Waveguard Junior, again, is a bit of a revelation in sort of design, comfort and safety for a kid's life jacket design. It's got a pro sensor firing mechanism with a viewing window as standard. So some of the things like you have on the 3D dynamic are all in the Waveguard as well as your S-lung, the cylinder safe through the range. It's brilliant because, you know, that things like the viewing window ensures that you can really assess the status of your child's life jacket at any point. And, you know, together with all of the other bits and pieces that we've added into it, I think it illustrates our own, you know, illustrates safety being Seago's primary objective in everything. You know,
Absolutely.
we've tried to make a life jacket which incorporates our entire range just for the child. So yeah, it's a really, really nice solid bit of kit. I've got one here. So it's a really, really nice little design. It only comes in red, so just really nice, high visible for extra safety. It's got this really nice neoprene neck collar as well, so it's really comfortable. So there's no sort of irritation if they're wearing it with a t-shirt or something like that. Yeah, and they just come in this color and one model. So that's the Waveguard Junior.
Perfect. Brilliant. Yeah, no, I think we've done a good job going through your range there. I think give people a lot to think about. So we've touched on who might benefit from each bottle based on like what they're doing or how often they're doing. But how would you say, or what would you say people have to consider if they're trying to choose between a manual, automatic, or auto with harness or lifeline attachment jacket?
Brilliant. So it's a really good question, and it is a bit of a minefield picking the one that suits you the most. Manual life jackets are very, very good for wet boats. Yeah, so if you're going out on, say, a racing yacht, and you're going to be doing bow or something like that, so you're working up at the bow, it's wet, there's waves coming over, you don't want an auto life jacket on, purely because the water is going to get into the life jacket, it's going to inflate, and then you're going to be walking around the deck like the Michelin Man until you can go down below, repack it. You know, it's not practical in those scenarios. So a manual lends itself perfectly because you are the master of your own destiny with it, if that makes sense. So you can fire the pin when you like and inflate. It's also really good on wet power boats as well. So again, if you're going out and taking loads of spray on, you know, a bumpy day or whatever, it's you don't want your life jacket going off when you're driving or on a helm. So a manual is great because again, you are the master of your own destiny. It then takes us on to automatic because then you're not the master of your own destiny, but that's a good thing as well, depending on the sailing you're doing. Yeah. So I'd say manuals for very wet boats, and if you're working bow or you're doing something very wet on a sailing boat. Yeah. Automatic life jackets are generally favoured by most of the sailing community for those who are A, not confident swimmers, or B, you know, don't want to worry about having to think they're setting their life jacket off in an emergency situation, or the worst case scenario, which is getting knocked unconscious into the water. Yeah. You know, your life jacket's there, it will inflate and it will keep your head above the water. So that's what autos, I'd say, are really for. Automatic harness are that nice mix of sailing with the opportunities so you can clip onto jackstays and lifelines as well. So you've got that added bit of safety, and it's got the harness there as well. So I think that covers most of the range, to be honest. So I think
absolutely. I mean, I'm sure it's obvious to some people out there, but to anyone, obviously, when a life jacket inflates, the way that the bladders are designed, even if you've landed face down in the water, the inflation is on the chest, it's behind the head, it's going to self-right you, keep your chest up, head up, airways clear of the water. Sure. I mean, I'm sure most people know, but we better just explain just in case.
100%. No, that's a really salient point, isn't it? Of course, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're face down, face up, wherever. If you're in the water, the entire design of, you know, all life jacket is to keep that head above water and keep your body in that sedentary sort of position, floating until you get come and picked up.
Absolutely. Something else we touched on whilst we were going through the life jacket range was newtons of buoyancy. Obviously, that you've mentioned that the Seago range goes from 165 in the Seaguards up to 300 Newton models in the Active and the 3D Dynamic. What would you? I think you sort of touched on it a bit, but like, why would someone be looking at a 300 Newton model over like the 165 or the 190 or whatever there?
Sure. So it's a really good question. So 300 Newton provides significantly more, loads more buoyancy. Yeah. So, but it's where additional weight might be carried. So the international safety standard is, I think it's based at 150 or 275 Newton, isn't it? Yeah. So the international standard in life jackets needs to be the 150 or 275. So 300 Newton, loads more buoyancy. Brilliant if you are wearing, your drenched wet weather gear, which can add, 20 kilos onto a person at least. If you're like a drowned rat with all your gear on, and then, you're wearing some heavy boots, you maybe got some tools up on deck, you might have a tool belt on, you might have, some rigging gear with you. That's the type of life jacket to wear in those situations, because you want and need that extra buoyancy. It's a bit of a toss-up because you wouldn't necessarily be wanting to wear one of those inflated, around the deck all the time, maybe, if one were to go off, because it's a hell of a lot of extra buoyancy. And again, you'll sort of look like the Michelin Man. It does make maneuverability a bit harder. But certainly in the water, wearing heavier gear, 300 is the one to be.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I think it's a good point to just say that obviously, as the ISO standard is 150 Newton, that should cover anyone up to, I think they rate it up to like 100 kilos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's something absolutely. Yeah.
Know that your basic range is above that, or not your basic range. The Seaguard range is above that. The Active range is well above that.
Yeah.
And I think you made a good point as well. Like, people often, larger people often think they need a lot more buoyancy, but don't necessarily.
No, and unfortunately, not necessarily the case.
No, and to get a life jacket that is 300 newtons, you are losing some of the comfort factor because you have to just fit more in.
Of course you are. Absolutely. It's one of those things as well, is in an emergency situation, if you are wearing a 300 and you're not in the water, it's going to make maneuverability a lot harder.
Yeah.
So it's always something to keep in mind. As I say, it's a balancing act, and picking your right one is important. I think it's one of those things, when you've finally chosen the life jacket, the Seago life jacket that best suits your boating, as I said to you before, James, it's really important to know how to rearm, repack the life jacket. So when you do take a bit of a splash or catch the inflation toggle on something on board, you know what to do with it. It's one of those really, really good points. And, as I said, we're really pleased to say that the rearming and repacking of our life jackets, in comparison to other providers, is very easy. And there's the YouTube videos to back all that up as well. It's the top tip to leave from, I think, this live stream is, once you've got it, really, really look into, just doing the basics with it as well.
Yeah, and if you're buying your Seago life jacket or any life jacket in one of the Force 4 stores, just ask them what you need to know. I mean, we've had people bring in life jackets in the past and ask us to repack them and rearm. It's not something we're technically allowed to do, but we will pull up a YouTube video. We will talk you through it, help you do it and understand what you've got to do yourself. The tricky bit is the fold. The easy bit is just knowing what to screw in and where and what clips to replace. It's not rocket science. It can be a little bit daunting, but when you get started, it really isn't that hard to do. So I agree with Dan. Like, if in doubt, ask the people in the store.
100%.
Go to the Seago YouTube channel. Go to the Seago brand page on Force 4. Easy to follow along videos there. Dan, I think we've done a really good job drilling in the difference between the life jacket ranges, and hopefully have helped people decide what they might need or want when getting out in the water. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you feel is worth mentioning? I mean, we've mentioned that you do spray hoods and lights. You've got the life jacket lines range to go with the auto harnesses. I think we've covered most things.
I think we've covered everything. Yeah, brilliant. I think we've gone through it all. I'm really happy to have chatted about the entire range. And yeah, thank you so much for going through it with me, James. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, brilliant. I think that wraps it up for us then. Again, Dan, you've said thank you, but I will say thank you once more for taking the time out to sit down and talk with us today about your life jacket range. Hope you have a good Easter, nice Easter break.
Yeah, you too, you too. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you, Elise, for working behind the scenes there, getting the pictures up for us.
Yeah, thank you, Elise.
Thank you to everyone who has sat down and tuned in for this live stream, and we'll see you next time.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.